Once upon a time, in a small village along the banks of the Niger River, in what is now modern-day Mali, there lived a hunter named Kofi. Kofi was known across the lands of West Africa for his skill, strength, and fearlessness. He was of the Dogon people, a tribe with deep connections to the spirits of the land and a rich heritage of storytelling and wisdom. But Kofi's fame had grown so great that he had started to drift from his roots, forgetting the traditions his ancestors had carefully passed down. As a young man, Kofi had learned to hunt with respect, honoring each animal he killed and offering prayers of gratitude to the spirits of the earth. But over the years, his success went to his head. He began hunting for pride rather than need, boasting of the many animals he had slain, sometimes even taking down creatures just for sport, leaving their bodies to rot. He saw the forest, the savannah, and the animals within them as a kingdom to rule, and he, Kofi, was its mighty king. The elders in his village grew concerned. They whispered that Kofi was angering the spirits. They warned that if he continued down this path, he would face consequences, as the spirits of the land do not take kindly to those who forget their place. But Kofi brushed off their words as the fears of old men. One scorching afternoon, Kofi ventured deep into the savannah, hoping to hunt a creature of true beauty and strength, a royal gazelle, known locally as Beli Bali, the spirit of speed. The royal gazelle was a rare sight, an elegant animal with long curving horns, slender legs, and a coat that shimmered in shades of brown and gold. It was said that the spirits themselves blessed the gazelle with extraordinary speed, and only a hunter worthy of great wisdom could catch one. After hours of tracking, Kofi finally spotted one by a small waterhole. The gazelle was alone, drinking quietly. It was the most magnificent animal he had ever seen, its coat gleaming in the sunlight like polished copper. Kofi crouched low, his heart racing with excitement. He gripped his spear, ready to throw, confident that this would be his crowning achievement. But just as he raised his spear to strike, he heard a voice, a calm, steady voice that seemed to echo through the savannah. "Kofi, son of the Dogon, why do you wish to take my life?" "Hey, I appreciate your sticking with me through this amazing story. If you're enjoying it, a quick like will really help others find and enjoy it too. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to comment. And if this story touched you, share it with someone special. They deserve to hear it too. Now let's jump back into the tale. But just as he raised his spear to strike, he heard a voice, a calm, steady voice that seemed to echo through the savannah. "Kofi, son of the Dogon, why do you wish to take my life?" Kofi's hands trembled, and his spear wavered. He looked around, expecting to see another person, perhaps a fellow hunter playing tricks on him. But there was no one. The voice, impossibly, was coming from the gazelle. "Kofi," the gazelle continued, its eyes deep and wise, filled with something far beyond the understanding of mere animals. "You once knew respect. You once understood balance. Why have you strayed so far?" Kofi was speechless, a mixture of fear and disbelief making his pulse race. How are you speaking to me?" he stammered. "You're just an animal, just a gazelle." The gazelle looked at him with a sad, almost pitying expression. "I am not just anything. I am part of this land, as are you. The spirits speak through me to reach those who need guidance. You have taken more than you need, Kofi. You hunt to prove your power, forgetting the ways of your ancestors. And with every life you take without purpose, you bring harm to the land and to yourself." The words struck Kofi deeply. Memories surfaced, of his father teaching him to hunt, of his mother telling him stories of the land's spirits. His father had taught him the ways of the Dogon hunters, to take only what was necessary, to always offer thanks, and to recognize that each creature had its place in the world. But Kofi had ignored those teachings in his pursuit of pride and power. "Why should you, a gazelle, care about what I do?" Kofi replied, a hint of anger masking his shame. "I am the greatest hunter of my village. I hunt to feed my people, to protect them." "But that is not all, is it?" the gazelle asked softly. "You hunt for pride, for the thrill, for the admiration of others. And in doing so, you break the harmony of the land. The trees grow silent, the birds no longer sing as they once did, and the animals flee. Can you not see what your actions have done?" Kofi clenched his fists, looking down at his spear. Deep down, he knew the gazelle was right. He had seen the changes himself, the once lush savannah growing barren, the animals growing scarce. Yet he had pushed those thoughts away, unwilling to face the truth. The gazelle looked at him with kindness, as though sensing the conflict within him. "You have one last chance, Kofi. The spirits are watching. Leave this place without taking my life, and the balance can be restored. Show respect, and the land will forgive. Continue on your path, and you will lose more than you can imagine." Kofi felt a surge of anger and confusion. How could an animal judge him? How could it understand the life of a hunter? But looking into the gazelle's eyes, he saw something undeniable, a wisdom far older than his own pride, a reminder of his own humanity. With a trembling hand, Kofi dropped his spear. He took a deep breath and closed his eyes, feeling the weight of his pride and arrogance lifting. He knelt down, bowing his head in respect, and whispered an apology to the land, to the spirits, to the ancestors he had ignored. The gazelle nodded solemnly, its eyes warm. "You have made the right choice, Kofi. Return to your village. Teach the young hunters the ways of respect and balance. Honor the land as your forefathers did, and it will provide for generations to come." Without another word, the gazelle turned and leapt away, disappearing into the tall grass, as if it had never been there at all. Kofi returned to his village changed. He no longer hunted excessively, and he taught the younger men to take only what they needed, to offer thanks to each animal, and to remember that they were part of the land, not rulers over it. In time, the savannah began to flourish once more. The trees grew greener, the birds returned, and animals were plentiful once again. The people of the village began to see Kofi not only as a skilled hunter, but as a wise elder, someone who understood the balance between man and nature. Years passed, and Kofi grew old. One night, as he sat by a fire with his grandchildren, telling them stories of his youth, he spoke of the talking gazelle. His grandchildren listened with wide eyes, hanging onto every word. One of them asked, "Grandfather, was the gazelle real? Was it truly a spirit of the land?" Kofi chuckled, his old eyes gleaming. "The land speaks in many ways, sometimes through a gazelle, sometimes through the whispering wind or the rustling leaves. The spirits watch over us, and if we forget our place, they will find a way to remind us." As he finished speaking, a breeze swept through the village, rustling the leaves and stirring the flames of the fire. In that moment, Kofi could have sworn he saw the shape of the gazelle in the shadows beyond the firelight, its eyes wise and knowing. He smiled, feeling a deep peace, knowing that he had honored the spirits and restored the harmony of the land. And so, Kofi passed down the story to his descendants, ensuring that they too would walk in harmony with the land, remembering the lessons of the talking gazelle, a tale of humility, respect, and the delicate balance that sustains all life. Moral of this story is a gentle reminder that true strength isn't about what we conquer, but about what we cherish and protect. Kofi, the hunter, thought he had to prove his worth by taking more, by showing his power. But in his encounter with the wise gazelle, he realizes that each life he takes for pride alone leaves him emptier. He learns that the land and its creatures aren't here to serve him. They're part of a delicate balance, one that he himself is woven into. When he lays down his spear, he's not just sparing a life, he's reconnecting with the values of gratitude, respect, and humility that he'd lost along the way. In a world where we're often encouraged to take more, to consume without end, Kofi's story reminds us that we're stewards, not conquerors. It's a story about returning to ourselves, about honoring what sustains us, and finding peace in restraint and reverence. So next time you're faced with a choice, ask yourself, am I adding to the world's beauty and balance, or am I taking away? Because real fulfillment comes not from what we possess, but from the connections we nurture, with the earth, with others, and with ourselves. Thank you for watching. I am Madhu Black, and this is Africa Folktales and Legends. If you have made it this far with us, ensure to subscribe, like, comment, and share the story on your social media platforms, and do turn on notifications so you'll know right away when I drop more amazing stories. I really appreciate all your support. Quite overwhelming. It means a lot to me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.